It's review time, and today's review comes from one of my one-on-one coaching clients. She is such a doll, and I want to share with you what she said. Her screen name on here is Waylon's wife. It gives you a little clue what her husband's name is, right? The headline says, Championing God's Design. Lori, I appreciate your dedication to encouraging listeners to think critically of what we allow on and in our bodies as well as our minds that God uniquely designed. Thank you for your stand on biblical principles that not only affect our spirit, but also our bodies. And thank you, Waylon's wife, who is one of my favorite coaching clients. We have such good conversations, and she's made such wonderful progress, and I just appreciate her so much. So if you are listening and you are not one of the people who has taken the time to leave me a quick 5-star written review over on Apple Podcasts, please do that. That helps me so much more than you realize. It helps me to find other mamas and other women just like you who could benefit from this content. Or if you don't have an iPhone or an iPad or a MacBook or whatever, that's okay. If you'll head over to YouTube, subscribe to my channel there, or even if you have an Apple device, if you could subscribe to my channel there, it helps me a lot. But if you subscribe there and comment on my videos, it helps in the very same way. When you make comments there, it helps me to get found by more people just like you. All right, so let's get into our content for today. We're going to talk about supplements, which is kind of one of the more confusing things, it seems like, these days, because they're everywhere. So I want to take you back to the beginning. I want you to think about this as I want you to think about everything from a God-honoring, faith-led perspective. God created the earth, and He created the animals and the plants, and He created us. He created our bodies to use food and to use it well. But our current way of growing food conventionally in this country, as well as our way of convincing the population, and when I say our, you know that I'm talking about like these organizations that are putting these products out. Let me change it. Their way of convincing the population that non-food items are actually food has led us to being an overfed but undernourished society. Even if you think you are eating a healthy diet, which most in America aren't, even when they think they are, they usually aren't. It is very possible that you're not getting what you need to be well nourished. So I want to talk to you today about how nourishing your body well through supplements might be something that is a good thing to add to your day. In general, though, I don't usually recommend just starting supplements all willy-nilly without some guidance. You don't truly know what you need without someone helping you to analyze your diet and your lifestyle and your situation. But since we know that the quality of most foods here in America, and I guess in most countries for that matter, isn't great, and we know that unless you're very intentional, it's going to be hard to get the nutrition that you need, it is safe to assume that some things might benefit you. As usual, you should always do your own research and consult your practitioner to know what's best and what's right for you. Also, let me just add these as a little caveat. You cannot out supplement an overwhelmed, overstressed nervous system. And you cannot out supplement a bad diet. Those are two of the deep topics that are the foundation of my one-on-one program. So keep these two things in mind as you decide what changes need to be made in your world, because if you are living a lifestyle that has your nervous system in constant overdrive or exhaustion, or if you are living a lifestyle where you are eating food, quote unquote food, if you're watching on YouTube, you saw me do my little fingers, that is not actually food, you're not going to be able to make up as much ground as you need to. There are other things that need to happen in order for your body to ever be healthy and well nourished. So I'll just put those two things out there as caveats. Before also we get into the supplements, I want to talk about the main place that you should be getting your nutrition. And this is not going to be any surprise to you if you've been listening to me for any length of time. You know that your nutrition should be coming from real, whole foods. That's always going to be your best source. God made your body to use nutrients from food, not from pills. Okay? You start the digestion process of the nutrition in the food when you first start chewing. The saliva that comes into your mouth, the chewing that breaks the food up into smaller pieces, it all starts the nutritional process from the very moment that you're enjoying the nice flavors and tastes and textures of your food. Then the food is swallowed and goes down to your stomach to break it down further, and then it goes into your intestines where the absorption process starts. When you eat real food at its peak ripeness, you give your body the best chance to get the full complement of nutrients intended. Same goes for meat. When the meat has been raised in the way it was meant to be raised, in the environment that God intended that animal to be raised, then you get the full complement of nourishment that was intended to come from that meat. But sadly, most of what we eat doesn't meet those criteria. Even if you're gardening your own vegetables or growing your own meats, they're eating grass that's coming from the ground that has been impacted by things that are beyond our control. Or you're eating vegetables that are grown in ground that, unless you have been very, very, very intentional over a long period of time, are still not going to yield the same complement of nutrients that they would have 50 or 100 years ago. So it's believed, studies seem to suggest that the same level of nutrients that were present in the past in foods are not there now. So it's hard to meet your body's needs just on food alone these days. So that's where supplements come in. What your body needs is an individual matter. So like what one of you listening needs is going to be different from what another one needs, which is why you need somebody like me to come in alongside you, to work side by side with you, to look at your case, your life, your situation, your labs, to see what you need. But there are a few things that pretty much are safe bets that most women can benefit from. So that's what we're going to talk about. Here are I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 things. Here are the things I would recommend that most any woman be on. The first thing is a no-brainer, I guess, but it's just a good quality multivitamin. And this good quality multivitamin needs to come from a whole food source for the same reason as what I just talked about. There are some decent supplements out there that are created in labs. However, your body is always going to know what to do with real food better than anything created in a lab, because that's how God created your body to work. So when you're reading a label of a multivitamin, you should be looking for ingredients that you can read, that you understand what they are, because those are going to be better for you than things that were created in a lab. The multivitamin that I love the most is called My Kind Organics. I think it's made by Garden of Life. And I use these in the gummy form, first of all, because they're delicious. But second of all, because when you read the ingredient list, it's all foods. Everything's food. I wish I had set it out. In fact, if you're watching on video, you're going to see me slide away. I actually have it. I have the women's multi here. You can see it in the video. This is your reminder on the podcast audio people that there is a video out there you can check out. Let me just read to you the first ingredients. So again, this is the women's multi. They also make a women's vitamin for over 40, and they make a prenatal. The ingredients says certified organic fruit chew base blend. This is organic apple, organic peach, organic tapioca fiber, pectin, organic cranberry flavor, organic purple carrot juice, organic orange, organic rice meal, and organic sunflower oil for coating. I don't love that last one, but Sometimes you can't get everything, but this one's pretty close. All right, moving on. Certified organic real food vitamin blend. Organic imblic, which I'm really not sure what that is. It's some type of fruit extract. Organic sesbania leaf. Organic Psidium guajava, which is guava. Organic holy basil leaf. I'm going to quit trying to read the scientific names. Organic annatto, fruit and seed. Organic lemon peel. Organic moringa leaf. Organic beetroot. Organic broccoli. Organic carrot. Organic spinach. Organic tomato. Organic strawberry. Organic cherry. Organic blackberry. Organic green bell pepper. Organic Brussels sprouts. Organic ginger. Organic blueberry. Organic garlic. Organic, that's interesting, garlic. I don't ever taste any garlic in it. That's interesting. Organic green onion, don't taste that either. Organic raspberry, organic parsley, organic cauliflower, organic red cabbage, organic asparagus, organic celery, organic cucumber, and organic kale. I don't know of any other vitamin that I've seen that has all of those foods in there. And also, they taste really good. It's almost like a little dessert. This is what you want to look for is a multivitamin that has all of those real food ingredients. Okay, if you're pregnant or you're childbearing age, I'd recommend the prenatal variety, obviously. If you're not, take the one for women. If you're under 40, you would take this one that I just read. If you are over 40, there's an over 40 variety. The only difference is the amounts of the different nutrients, different needs for different ages. I will say that it's best not to take those all at once. A daily dose of this vitamin is 4 gummies. And I would say like maybe take 2 with breakfast and 2 with lunch, just so that you're not overwhelming your system to where you just end up passing it, into your urine, making, as Dr. Sue calls it, expensive pee. It's also best to take it with a fat source because there are several fat soluble vitamins like vitamin D, vitamin K, let's see, vitamin E's in here. So with your fat soluble vitamins, if you don't have fat present, you won't absorb them. So make sure that that's why it's good to take it with a meal when you're having a good quality fat source in your meal. All right, so that's the first one. I will say here, so that you're aware, I have linked a wellness pack in my FullScript account for you to have access to. All supplements from my FullScript are discounted every day, and there's free shipping over $50. FullScript is an excellent source for your supplements because they are all good quality. Many of them have done enhanced testing on, but I used to order things like this from Amazon because I thought it was the same product, right? What difference does it make? And then I saw an article come out saying that no matter what source you're ordering from, whether it's a third party or the main company, all of the product is actually intermingled, and that oftentimes you can get really old products. And I thought, that's interesting. So I had been using that, and I noticed that the gummies were kind of all mushed together, but I just thought that was normal. They were gummies. And then my first order from FullScript, they were totally different. And I thought, oh, there really is a difference. So it's really best not to get your supplements from Amazon. Get them from a place like FullScript. If you want to check out my FullScript account to see what's available, there's a wellness pack there for you now that's going to have all the things I'm talking about today. There's also several other things there. So I believe there's like a low iron pack. There is a prenatal, I believe. There's different ones like for when you have the flu or cold, different things like that. There's all kinds of different plans on there that you can look at and order should you need them, and you're getting them from a good source. And you get to that by going to bit.ly/Morris Wellness, MORRISWELLNESS. That will link you over to my FullScript account. You just make an account there and you get what you want. You always get it at a discount. Sorry, I got going a little fast there. All right, so that's thing one. Thing two, vitamin D. Now, your multivitamin is going to have vitamin D in it. Let's see, this one says it's got 100%. However, I also, because of the deficiency that most women have, that I have seen in my practice, recommend you add a little bit more on top of that to make sure that you're getting a full absorption, because you're never going to get completely everything from it. And as deficient as we are in getting outside into the sun, I would say that everybody needs a little bit extra. Somewhere around half of women, if not more, are deficient in vitamin D, especially as we're heading into winter. I've been shocked at how low vitamin D levels have been in nearly all of my clients that we've done labs on. So there's two different kinds of vitamin D. There's vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. One comes from food, one comes from your skin when your skin is exposed to the sun. Okay? It's how God made your body to produce its own vitamin D, and you need both. Vitamin D is essential for immune function, for fertility, for bone health, heart health, mood support, just plain feeling good. If you've ever heard of people who get sad and depressed in the wintertime, this is tied to vitamin D levels, because in the wintertime we don't get as much vitamin D from the sun, and it can just leave you feeling kind of down in the dumps. So one of the ways to overcome that is to supplement your vitamin D level. You can find the vitamin D supplement that I recommend, again, on my wellness pack on Fullscript, bit.ly/Morris Wellness. Again, this is a fat-soluble vitamin, so you need to be taking it with a fat source, or it will just go through and you'll pee it back out. Okay, so make sure you're getting a good quality fat source when you are taking your vitamin D. Next supplement is cod liver oil. This one also has a little bit of vitamin D in it, the one that I recommend, for much the same reason, so that we're making sure we're getting plenty absorbed. Even the people who are fully supplementing are still struggling to get their vitamin D up, so don't think you're going to get too much necessarily. So cod liver oil, most people, the reason I recommend this is because most people are not getting enough omega-3 fatty acids, but they're getting way too many omega-6 fatty acids, which come from like seed oils and things like that, and processed foods. And so that sets you up for being in an inflammatory state. Adding omega-3s from a good low mercury source will give your body a better balance, which will help your brain health, your heart health, your eye health, and more. And before you say yuck, I know you heard cod liver oil and you were like, ugh, it's really not too bad. I did the same thing. I thought that too. In fact, I bought a bottle of cod liver oil a few years ago that I just sat and looked at it. It sat in my refrigerator forever until I finally threw it away because I was pretty sure it was no good anymore. Because I was scared of what it was going to taste like. I never even tried it. So I don't know, 6 months or so ago, got a bottle of Nordic Naturals, which is what I recommend, which you'll find on my Fullscript account, and tasted it, and I actually like it. The consistency is a little different, but I've gotten used to it, and I'll say that I get the lemon flavor, and it reminds me of lemon cake batter, which if you didn't have my grandmother, which you didn't because I'm an only grandchild, you may not have the memories of lemon cake like I do. And not that it was in any way good for you, but she would always let me lick the bowl. And this flavor reminds me of lemon cake batter. So give it a try. It's only a teaspoon a day. It's not like it's a ton. And I think you will be able to tolerate it. I don't think you'll mind it at all. In fact, I've gotten to where I look forward to it. Okay, so that's the next one. Again, that's all available on my Fullscript wellness pack that you can find at bit.ly/Morris Wellness. All right, next, beef organs. And I know you've probably heard beef organs, they're all the rage, but there's a reason for that. And I guess if there was only one thing out of this whole list that I would say for you to try, this would be it. Beef organs. It's known as nature's multivitamin because it has so many nutrients. It has vitamin A, it has B vitamins, folate, iron, copper, CoQ10, ferritin, immune peptides, zinc, selenium, and more. And let's just be honest, most of us are not eating beef heart or beef liver or any other beef organs, right? We kind of pass on those. We give them to the dogs. And meanwhile, they're healthier than we are, right? So when you take the beef organs and you dehydrate them or you freeze dry them in a capsule, then you're getting the full complement of nutrients without having to deal with the consistency that you might not like or the flavor that you might not like from eating the organs themselves. So it's a way to get all the goodness without having to like choke down something that you don't really want to eat. Okay. You may have seen, I don't know, it's been 2-3 months ago, I put a video or a reel on my YouTube and then also on Instagram of me making my own beef organ capsules. That is something that you can do. It saves you a ton of money, but it is a little bit time consuming. So if you want to give this a try and don't want to make your own, then you can go to my Fullscript and there is one link there that is a good quality that is freeze dried. All right. And then the last thing we're going to talk about today as far as supplements go, This came from a question submitted on my Instagram when I asked, what do you guys want to know? Someone wanted to know about prebiotics versus probiotics and how that fits into a supplement regimen. So let's talk about the difference first. Probiotics are the good bacteria that live in your gut and in your vaginal tissue, okay, or vaginal canal, okay? It's the good vaginal bacteria, the good gut bacteria. Probiotics, good life, good bacteria. Prebiotics are the foods that feed the probiotics, okay? So probiotics are like the seeds, prebiotics are like the fertilizer. Does that make sense? So, probiotics support your gut to be able to digest your food well and to absorb the nutrients well. You get probiotics from foods that are fermented, things like yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, other sources like that. Okay? It's very important if you're going to use these things that you get the kind that is not sweetened or very minimally sweetened, because you can kind of end up having a working against yourself, because the sugar can feed bad bacteria while you're putting good bacteria in. So you kind of end up shooting yourself in the foot. So get sources preferably that you make, that you can control the contents of it, and without sugar. Most people are not getting enough probiotics in general. So a supplement can help make sure that your gut is getting colonized with good bacteria. We just live in a culture where ferments are not really usually a part of our diet like they are in some other cultures. So it's good to use a supplement for that. One of the multivitamins I was using at one point did have some. I don't believe this one has it, but sometimes if you look, your multivitamins will also have some probiotics in them. The prebiotics are different foods. There's onions, garlic. There's several different things that feed these bacteria well. So go online, just look up what are some good prebiotic sources that you could add into your diet to be able to feed the good probiotics so that they can stay alive and stay healthy. Again, there is a recommended supplement for probiotics on my full script. Again, you can get that at bit.ly/Morris Wellness. Again, do not get your supplements at Amazon, and really even sometimes grocery stores and stuff like that. They're just getting whatever the easiest was. They're not the highest quality. And so really do some research before you buy from places like that, or go somewhere like my full script. Again, they're all discounted. Come straight to your door. You can subscribe to them to where they come monthly. You don't even have to think about it. It's all automated. It's really easy. But if you don't want to use that, that's fine. Get them from your local health food store or wherever. Just make sure you're making good choices and getting good quality supplements so that you're not just making expensive pee, as my friend Dr. Sue says. Now, as someone who works one-on-one with women, I know that there are many deficiencies that many of them are not aware of. They really didn't expect it. We've had lots of shocking moments as we look at our labs and find out that, oops, I thought I was doing pretty good on this thing and I'm not. And that's why it's so important to have someone in your corner like me to help you see where you are and then strategize with you to come up with a roadmap to where you want to be. That's exactly what I do with my one-on-one clients. We meet bi-monthly, twice a month, and we talk through what's going on and we walk together down the path that we chart to help you get from where you may be lacking or where you are now to where you want to be and where your body is designed to be. So if you're ready for that kind of relationship, that kind of hand-holding care, not the 3-minute doctor visit where you never got to ask your questions and you're left feeling like, what now? Or where you maybe did get a question in, but they're like, just eat a healthy diet. And you're like, well, what does that even mean? How do I even do that in my lifestyle? If you're tired of that feeling and you want a true health care relationship, someone to help care for your actual health, if you're tired of trying to do it alone, then coaching might be exactly what you need. You can go apply for my program. It's a super simple, quick application. And when I say application, I don't even want you to be intimidated by that. It's just answering a few questions so I know a little bit more about you and your situation. It's at morriswellnessservices.com/apply. After you apply, you're going to have access to my calendar where you can book your free 15-minute discovery call with me, where we'll just kind of talk through your application and see if coaching might be a good fit for you. So if that sounds like what you need, if you're ready to leave the old way behind and make real change, do things different, and make real change to where you're owning your health and you have someone walking with you every step of the way, then go to morriswellnessservices.com/apply today. And if not, no worries. I will see you right back here next week.